I've been testing 4 Ecovacs robot vacuums, the N30, the T30S, the T50 Pro, and the X9 Pro Omni. And after running them side by side for months, I realized the biggest mistake people make isn't which one they buy. It's assuming the higher price automatically means a better clean. Spoiler alert, one of the middle models actually outperformed the premium X9 in my home in a few key areas. I've tested a lot of robot vacuum mops over the past year, and Ecovacs consistently delivers my favorite lineup. Each model builds on the last, but the upgrades matter more depending on the kind of home you have, not necessarily how much you spend. So let's break down exactly what changes as you move up the Ecovacs ladder. 1. Suction and thoroughness. The first big difference you'll notice is suction. The N30 starts solid for everyday dust and pet hair, but the T30S ramps up the power noticeably, especially on rugs and thicker carpets. The T50 Pro and X9 take it further with their 15,000 plus Pascal suction motors. But here's the thing, the T50's extending side brush arm makes an even bigger impact than the suction boost. It actually reaches into corners and along baseboards that all the others tend to miss, giving you visibly cleaner corners and tight spots. We'll get to mopping in a second, but I want to let you know there are links in the description if you want to compare current prices. 2. Mopping capability. Here's where the real divide begins. The N30 doesn't have an onboard water reservoir, so it struggles to keep its mop pads consistently wet. At the beginning of a run, it deep cleans beautifully, but it can peter out and just glide over sticky spots by the end. And it has to run back to the station 2 or 3 times more often than the others to wash and re-wet its mops. The T30S and T50 Pro fix that with onboard tanks and intelligent water control, which means the pads stay evenly damp and can handle sticky messes without constant trips to the station. The N30 also doesn't exert downward pressure on its mop like the other 3 do, so it struggles mopping dried spills. The N30, T30S, and T50 Pro have incredible edge mopping ability. They can mop right up to the edge, scrubbing those sticky spots and grabbing the bits that most robots leave behind. The X9 also makes edge mopping claims, but in practice, it's just not nearly as good at edges as the other 3. But the X9 Pro does have the strongest scrubbing motion. The other 3 have dual spinning mops, which do a really nice job but can occasionally leave something sticky behind. The X9 introduces the roller mop, which gives you a great deep clean and a finish that's less likely to streak, since its mop is washed continuously with clean water during every single roll. It can tackle dried spills that even the T50 Pro might need 2 passes for, but it sacrifices some edge cleaning. For me, I'd rather have the T30S or T50 Pro's consistent mop coverage and edge performance over the X9's brute scrubbing strength. 3. Navigation and obstacle avoidance. All 4 models are surprisingly smart, but as you move up, you get fewer rescues. The T50 Pro and X9 both have advanced obstacle detection, so they'll recognize cords, socks, and toys instead of plowing through them. The N30 and T30S rely more on bump sensors, so you might see them nudge things more often, and they can completely miss things that are low profile. In my often cluttered family home, I end up rescuing the N30 or T30S once or twice per cleaning session, while it's really rare to have to untangle the T50 Pro or X9. 4. Battery life and coverage. If runtime matters to you, the T30S and T50 Pro are actually tied for the top spot, both offering over 3 hours of cleaning and covering close to 1,000 square feet per charge. The X9 comes in a little lower at about 2.5 hours and 850 square feet. The N30, it'll get the job done, but it takes 6.5 hours to recharge compared to under 4 with the other 3. Next, I'll talk about stations and maintenance, but I want to let you know there are links in the description if you want to get a closer look at any of these 4 Ecovacs models. 5. Stations and maintenance. Ecovacs stations get progressively smarter and more automated as you move up to the more premium models. The N30 is narrower and simpler. It handles self-emptying and mop washing, but with cooler water, and lower drying heat around 100 degrees. The T30S and T50 Pro both use hot water up to 150 degrees for washing and drying at 113 degrees Fahrenheit, which keeps the mops cleaner and less musty. The X9 goes all out with a 167-degree mop wash and 145-degree Fahrenheit drying cycle. In addition, the T50 and X9 both automate cleaning solution use perfectly, so you never overdo it. So the X9 really does win here with the smallest station and the most features. It keeps its robot's mop the cleanest and automates more so you do less. 6. Height and furniture fit. Height can be a deal breaker if you're wanting a robot that can get under furniture. The T50 Pro is the slimmest by far at just 3.19 inches tall, so it fits under more furniture than any of the others. The X9 sits at just under 4 inches, so it still fits under some things. The LiDAR bump on the T30S and N30 adds some extra clearance issues. The T30S sits at 4.1 inches and the N30 is the tallest at 5 inches. So you'll see it bump into couch frames that the T50 can easily slide under. All of these Ecovacs models clean well. There isn't a bad one in the bunch, but if you're trying to choose, here's the summary. N30. Best for small spaces or light messes. It's a great overall vacuum and mop, but compared to the others, it lacks features that really make them shine, like excellent obstacle avoidance, a water reservoir on the robot, or a slim design that fits under furniture. The T30S. Big step up in suction and mop consistency for the money, but it's not great at avoiding obstacles like socks and cords. T50 Pro. The most balanced and my favorite overall. You get the best edge cleaning, long runtime, great obstacle avoidance, and a strong enough vacuum to tackle just about anything in the slimmest design. The X9 Pro, the most powerful vacuum and the best deep mop, but a bulkier robot and less precise on edges. If you want that hands-off experience with truly detailed cleaning, I'd go with the T50 Pro. It's the one I use when I want the best clean in my own home. So remember that mistake I mentioned at the start? Spending more doesn't always buy you a cleaner floor. Choosing the right Ecovacs for your home does. There are links in the description if you want to check these out. Like and subscribe for more smart home comparisons.